Hi, my name is William Banks, and we're here at the American Atheist 2024 Convention in Philadelphia. I'm here with my guest, Aron to talk about God. Now, Aron, do you believe in God?
No. That was a yes or no question.
How do you not believe in God?
How do you not believe in leprechauns?
Well, that's a little man who's Irish.
Okay.
And
And both of them are made of magic, and both of them are known only from folklore, and there's no evidence to support either one, and there's a ton of evidence against both of them.
How long have you not believed in God?
I was 19 and I was a reborn Christian for a few hours. I was, when I did that thing about accepting Christ as my Savior and all of that horse shit that people go through, I went through the same kind of conversion experience that a lot of people did with a lot of different religions, where even when I've read testimonies from people who surrendered their lives to Buddha, they have the same sort of thing. So it doesn't matter what the God is that you're going to give yourself over to. They get the same experience. I had that same experience. And in a moment of clarity, as I'm floating around the room, in euphoria for a couple of hours or so, I finally asked my friend, who later became a Southern Baptist minister, I said, how do I know that this is really the power of Jesus and that it's not just a trick of the mind or a demon or whatever? He grabbed me by both shoulders with a huge beaming smile and said, just keep telling yourself it's Jesus until you believe it. And the dishonesty of the fake it till you make it philosophy broke the spell. I was instantly not a Christian anymore.
Were you Jewish? Or are there other faiths that you believe in?
I don't believe in no, faith is the problem. Faith is the most dishonest position it is possible to have. Any belief that requires faith should be rejected for that reason alone. Faith is inherently autodeceptive. It leads people to lie in defense of a belief that they know on some level is not really true, but you're going to make believe anyway.
Would you say that you think that atheism can lead to faith, or it doesn't lead to faith at all?
I don't see how the rejection of faith can lead to faith. That doesn't mean anything.
Perhaps, have you had any experiences in your life where you've just had a profound, inexplicable thing happen to you that has felt like a miracle or felt like some sort of divinity or spirituality that's affected you?
Oh, yeah, I was deeply spiritual after my Christian phase. I got into neo-pagan occultism, transcendental meditation, all of that. And I practiced that for years and I had a few profound experiences that way, but they didn't match any kind of theology that I'd ever been taught. And I realized that I could cause people to see whatever they already believed in. I could cause a Hindu to see Krishna. I could cause a Christian to experience the Holy Spirit. All I had to do was set the ambiance. It's different for whatever the belief system is. It might be drums, it might be sitar music, it might be incense, whatever. You set the ambiance and let their imagination run wild. And when I realized that I don't believe in Jesus and I don't believe in Krishna, but if I'm causing these people to see or to experience both of these things that aren't even real, then they're not experiencing a thing that is really real. It's a trick of the mind. And when I realized that I was causing other people to suffer a hallucination, that I was tricking other people, I thought, I might be tricking myself. And then I started reevaluating the things that I would do, the demonstrations that I would give to show other people what I could actually do as a neo-pagan occultist. And I realized I am tricking myself.
But perhaps you were closed off to the idea that you could be enlightened, or...
Well, here's the problem. I thought I was enlightened twice. Twice in my life I proclaimed the truth of something that turned out to be a lie. Twice. And so I figured out The truth is what the facts are, what you can show to be true, not whatever else you might assume or imagine beyond or instead of that. That is the realm of religion.
Interesting. And have you ever felt like you were in love? Have you ever been in love?
Many times. Does that how could being in love cause you to believe impossible nonsense for no good reason? Faith is when you believe things that you either know are not true, or Friedrich Nietzsche said that faith is not wanting to know what is true. Mark Twain, his contemporary, said that faith is believing what you know ain't so. I think both of them got it right.
What does that mean?
Faith is believing, it has been voiced by many philosophers before in various different ways. Faith is believing what common sense tells you is not true, and believing it anyway. Faith means make-believe.
Do you feel like you would be able to have me experience the Holy Spirit if I feel like I'm open to it? Or you could make me sense it from the occult history you have?
Once upon a time, I would have believed that, yeah. Now I know better.
Thanks. Well, I'm here at the Atheist Convention trying to help everyone believe in God, and I'm trying to convert all of the atheists into believers, and so far I've only converted one person.
Okay, I doubt that even. But why would you want to do that? Why would you want to convince somebody to believe something that is not evidently true and not even possible? That was my question for you.
Because I believe in God, and God has saved my life, and God has given me a mission in my life where He's cured my cancer, I totaled my car, and I survived. I was locked inside of a walk-in freezer for 45 minutes on October 14th, 2018, and through a miracle, I was able to call 911 with no cell service, and the fire department came and got me out. And I feel like I'm here for a mission, and when I saw that this atheist convention was happening, I felt like I had to come, and I had to help people not be an atheist but believe in God.
You understand that most American atheists were where you are. We have former missionaries and ministers and seminary students. They were all where you're at. Many of them were reborn, and many of them have just come to a point where they can't believe it anymore, when they realize that they have to lie in defense of scriptural literalism. You have to. You can't defend Christianity. You can't defend creationism, especially. You can't do it honestly. You have to distort the data. It requires deception. There's no way around it. When other people, many of you at this conference, they came from where you are, and there's a reason that they're not there now. We have not just the former missionaries and ministers and seminary students and evangelical leaders and so forth. It's not just the former pastors in that. We also have historians and philosophers and archaeologists and scientists and people who just have like all this wealth of information that shows that nothing in the Bible, nothing is verifiably true. And there's a hell of a lot that is demonstrably false.
Well, I have a little Bible here with me, and I would like you to, would you mind pointing to one of these passages and telling me that it's not true?
Pointing to which passage?
Anyone. You can open up to any page and see that it's true.
Well, we will see definitely that Adam and Eve are genetically impossible. This is according to evangelical Christian Francis Collins. Yep. And we know that the Garden of Eden story is mythology that is adapted. It's from the 5th century BC, by the way. Not nearly as old as what it was said to be. It's post-exilic. And the original stories that it was based on, or that led to the tropes from this, come from Mesopotamian mythology from 2 millennia earlier. It's mostly Mesopotamian, but it's other influence as well. Judaism was mostly influenced by Zoroastrianism, the worship of Zarathustra. And one of the things that Judaism did not take from that religion, but the Christianity did, Christianity reached back past Judaism and took the concept of heaven and hell from Zoroaster, because they said that the righteous man, or that the evil man upon his death will descend into the kingdom of the lie under Aron the opposer, who is also, but the other word for the opposer, Hashatan, Satan, the Satan. And then the righteous man will upon his death ascend into the kingdom of the truth, which is ruled by which is ruled by the wise Lord Ahura Mazda.
But this is the New Testament, so it doesn't have anything about Garden of Eden in here.
You don't have in here the Old Testament. You don't have where God condones abortion. You don't have here where God promotes child sex trafficking. You don't have in here where God promotes...
We don't have that in there.
You've got incest promoted in certain parts. You've got cannibalism promoted in certain other parts. But this is where Jesus also said that he came not to dissuade the law, but that you had to follow every jot and tittle of those old Mosaic laws, lest ye be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Which means you lost your foundation. The foundation of this book is the one where all the real horror is. No, it's not all the real horror. I mean, you do have this book still has Jesus being the one who's torturing you in hell. Jesus is the one who's crushing the unbelievers.
No, I don't think Jesus does that.
Jesus crushing the unbelievers in the bloody winepress. Yes, it is there. Look it up. I think it's in Timothy. So Jesus is a cult leader and a faith healer.
No, he's a Messiah, just like Buddha. Coming to enlighten humanity for what it was ready for, because in the Old Testament God is all about punishment and pain, but then humanity was ready for the enlightenment, so Jesus came to teach.
Excuse me. Jesus was a first century faith healer who thought that diseases were caused by, get this, demons. So this is not the guy you want to take medical advice from. He was the same kind of faith healing scam who identifies as an exorcist. The same kind of scam operation that we still have going on today. He tried to put demons into pigs to run pigs over the cliffs because he believed in the scapegoat idea. This is not wisdom. The guy wanted to divide families. He wanted to separate husbands from their wives and parents from their children. He said that in order to follow me, that you had to hate your father and your mother and your sister and your brother and your wife and even your own life to pick up your cross and follow him.
That's a metaphor.
That you had to love him more than anybody else because he's a cult leader. That's how every cult operates.
I don't think all cults are bad.
Of course you wouldn't think that when you belong to a cult, would you?
I do not belong to a cult. Carworld is not a cult.
What's the definition of a cult?
It's a community. Carworld is literally just a community of people who care about each other, and we have like all these different branches across the country, and it's like meant to combine people.
Okay, so the definition of a cult, do we need to look it up? Or do you?
Sure.
Okay, let's just look it up. I mean, we can Google. I like to use common language whenever possible.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to look up, hold on a sec. Cult, and then we'll go definition.
And in my experience, sometimes people call what I do a cult, but it's really not, because I make sure that I value everybody who's a member.
A system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or object. Does that describe you? Yes.
I mean, I like it when people...
A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs and practices regulated regarded by others as strange or sinister. Does that also describe you? Okay, yes. Then we go to the third definition. A misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing. You worship a faith healer who says he's an exorcist and pretends that diseases are caused by demons.
Yeah, but so when people devote themselves to me specifically, I don't require them to do that. I just invite people to join, and then they're able to.
Join for what?
For Carworld.
For what?
Carworld is sort of an offshoot. Yeah.
A world of cars?
No, well, it's kind of a misnomer. It's more Earth, World, and ARM universe. It's these worms that phase into cars, and people like donate money to me for it.
Is this the moment when I back away slowly and try not to make eye contact from the guy who thinks this is not a cult? Okay, sorry, your description of Car World is kind of terrifying.
I don't know. I think it's provided a lot of community and solace for a lot of people.
I can't actually believe that you're serious right now. I feel like I'm being punked. There's a hidden camera somewhere.
The cameras are right there, right there, right there. You know about them?
Yeah, but this is still a punk game.
No, we're making a documentary to talk about religion and faith. It's not supposed to be about Car World. I'm actually going through my fiance, who is going to be, we were going to do a big wedding as the finale of it. She just broke up with me, which really puts all, we had this big announcement that we were going to get married, and we had a retreat where we all took mushrooms together at 5 a.m. We stayed up all night, and then at sunrise, we took these mushrooms. We had this beautiful ceremony. John was there. He filmed it, and then she broke up with me in February, and it's just I don't see a path forward with it. But I've got 565 members who are devoted to it and want to support me to go back there and save it. And I'm not trying to talk about all that right now. I'm trying to make a clean slate. We promised we weren't going to talk about that, but I just believe in God. God is my fuel and my energy, and I'm here today because of God. And I actually am here because of God. And
You think you are, but you're not.
How were you to say that?
Because I've already been where you are twice, 2 different delusions, and then I learned how to get around delusion. Don't believe anything on faith.
But when
not to believe anything.
When you got around your delusion, were you just having a bad day?
Getting out of a delusion can be a bad day, but it's a lifetime of good.
Does being an atheist make you feel happy, or do you wish that you were believing in God and you could even be a member of Car World?
I've never heard of Car World. I don't believe it's real. I think I'm being punked right now. You made this shit up. Clearly a joke. Okay, so this is just being punked.
It's no punk. My name's William. We're really sorry. I brought it up because you started talking about cults, and I often get accused of running a cult, but it's not one. So it's just that made me want to defend myself.
So we look up the definitions. We can just keep up looking at definitions. And what is a cult is a small religion, and a religion is a large cult. There's another definition we can. So it doesn't matter. You're not out of this. This is a cult, and if it was real, but I don't believe it's real. Let's forget the Car World.
Forget about it.
Hey, Christianity, this guy speaks for you.
I'm one of many voices in a choir of angels.
This would be so much funnier if I'd already had a few drinks before we played this game.
Can I tell you? Move along like you know you can. All you gotta do is believe in God, believe in God, believe in God. We made that song up just a moment ago when we were at dinner. We were thinking.
I don't believe a word of this.
Have you ever witnessed a miracle?
What is a miracle?
Something that is inexplicable and very good from God.
And okay, so you're making the assumption that it's inexplicable, not just that it's unexplained as of yet. You're making the assumption that it's inexplicable, and you're also making sure you're making the assumption that it's from God. Why would you do that? You know that there's so many people who believe in a different set of spiritual images than your God, right? Yes. Yeah, you're kind of outnumbered in that. So you're assuming your own conclusions, which is the logical fallacy of the complex question, also known as circular reasoning, the question-begging fallacy, which is, to be fair, ubiquitous throughout all religions. Every religion is guilty of the circuitous assumptions of the question-begging fallacy.
Is there anything I could do or say right now that would help you no longer be an atheist and believe in God?
I would, if there was any truth to what you believe, then you would be able to do that. But as there is not, then you're in the same boat as everybody else pushing this make-believe. If you had truth, I'd want to know it. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much. God bless you.